Hello, everyone, and welcome to my channel and welcome to this live. And this is my Real Talk with Coach Sherry podcast. I appreciate you all for being here, and I'm glad that you liked the intro, Slasher Chick. Thank you. Yes, I just needed to hear some relaxing music. I did want to have it in the background, but I think it may be too loud. This has been one of those weeks where you just want to sit by the fire and chill. I was going to sit by the fire in my home, but it's hot. It is humid here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And so having the fireplace on was a bit much for the entire household. So I decided to just be here with you and chill and just talk about some stress relief strategies. I don't know about you, but I definitely had a very challenging week, and not in a bad way, just in an emotional way, I want to say. You know, in addition to all the things that I do, I am also, as you know, a coach, and I do a lot of career coaching. And I always say career coaching is not therapy, it's not counseling, it's coaching. It's getting you ready for your next move. And sometimes, because we are living life, sometimes life is the thing that gets in the way. So, in the beginning of some of my sessions, I just let the clients just release and just release all the things that are going on in their life just to get it out. It's like cleaning out the cobwebs so that we can see clearly, trimming the trees so that we can enjoy the forest. um and this week was heavy. It was a lot. uh, you know, and it just kind of triggered me in some ways, just reflecting on my past experiences. And I think that's what makes a powerful coach is someone that has also experienced life in some form or fashion, where they can be more empathetic to the people that are, sharing what they're going through, and really kind of feel feel them for where they're coming from, because a lot of times people just tell you to just get over it. Oh, that happens all the time, it's not a big deal. But it is a big deal. Everything that we go through in life, whether it's a big deal to you or not, it's a big deal to someone. And I don't know what the season is that God has me in, but I'm finding myself coaching people that are grieving the loss of a loved one that they were very close to, be it their parent or their sibling, and they have been caregivers. And if you are a caregiver, and especially if you are a caregiver that has lost a loved one, you know how challenging that can be, how heavy that can be. And if you're not around a strong, supportive circle of people that have been there with you every step of the way, then you may be experiencing people around you that are just telling you to get over it, or who are not as supportive as you may need. And support doesn't always come in the financial piece of it. It doesn't come in the, going to run errands or do some of the heavy lifting for them, but it's really just being there and lending that helping hand without being asked, or without you saying, do you need me? Just showing up is sometimes all that's needed. And showing up could mean you sitting in the room with them while they're just sitting there saying something or nothing at all. And a lot that's not happening in many instances. I know that was a challenge for me. And if it wasn't for my husband and my children, I don't think I would have been able to get through it. And for my family, we went through it back to back, within the same school year. At the beginning, my mother passed for my children. And in that same school year, at the end, my father in law passed. And it was as if it didn't happen. The people around us felt that, oh, we should just be able to get over it. The beat goes on. And again, thankfully, we had our children that were very busy and booked and busy. So we kept moving. But in reality, you need to pause. You need to have grace. Give yourself grace to pause when you experience loss. And so, this week again, a lot of my coaching clients for some reason were, going through some form of fashion of grief. And in the beginning of the session, they tried to put on that strong front, like, oh, I got this. It's not a, I'm handling my handle. One was an only child, and her sister passed, and now she's the primary caregiver for both of her parents, as well as handling her sister's affairs. And they don't live in the same state, and it's a lot of back and forth. Another, it's her mother, and she's the eldest of three. It's three of them, and she's the eldest. I'm talking 16, 20 years older, and it's a lot that she has to deal with, plus her family. That sandwich generation comes in different forms, and the sandwich generation, just like a sandwich in real life, you can get different types of sandwiches, and that's the type of life I'm finding people living in. Yes, they are in a sandwich generation. They may or may not have children, but they're finding themselves between caring for elderly parents or ill or sick siblings, as well as in between their careers and developing and growing their careers. That's a sandwich generation, or finding yourself taking again care of those elderly parents or ill siblings, as well as taking care of their spouse and their children, and then they're in the middle. So either way, it's being in that sandwich generation, and it can be very challenging. So today, I guess for me, it just kind of all came upon, and I was just like, okay, I have to also remember to take care of myself, and that's first and foremost. And throughout it all, I allow myself to be quiet, to just meditate after the end of each session, stepping outside, getting some fresh air, walking, getting that natural vitamin D, decompressing. I don't share, what the sessions were, but I'm able to compartmentalize them in my brain, writing down my notes and reflecting and writing down my feelings, and also seeing how it is showing up for me. If it is a trigger, how has it triggered me? Maybe I need to go and massage that trigger that is happening, because maybe I'm not recovered or I haven't gone through it. So it's really important to reflect and have that emotional intelligence enough, that self-awareness enough to be able to see how it's impacting you. Because if you just go on to the next and pretend like life is just lifing and it's all good, it can really impact you in a negative way. And, if you are around people that are, empaths, or who are coaches, counselors, therapists, or people that just really are in constant contact in their day to day with their careers, with their work, their line of work, when they get into those quiet moments, don't take it personal. What is that song that Janet Jackson sings? I think it was Janet Jackson. She may have made it as a remix, but don't take it personal. No, I bet you think this song is about you. Listen, y'all, when it comes to aligning things like that, I am the worst. I will mess it up every time. But I do know that it is something in that, where, you know, people around you will take it personal, and they'll always think, what did I do? And I don't ask, what did I do? Or did I do something, unless I did something. So if you see someone that is reflective, don't take it personal. Don't ask them, what did I do? Especially if you know you didn't do anything. And that's how we roll in my family. We don't say like, oh, it's something, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? Because when you say that, that means you have done something wrong. You are guilty. Just know that that person may need some space. That person may need an outlet. Don't say, what did you do wrong? Don't reflect it on you, but say, do you need to talk? Would you like to talk it out? Or do you need me to, do you need some support in one way or the other? But just automatically, saying, did I do something? That's not the thing. So yes, it's so important to prioritize yourself and have self-care and building up your stamina as well as your coping mechanisms, And so I know a lot of times, especially with different content creators, there's a lot out here that, are very inspirational, motivational, transformative, but it's giving you some suggestions on how to get over some things, how to have or how to develop methods to relieve some of your stress. And that's what this session tonight is going to be about. And y'all, today is day 68 of me going live every day for 90 days. And I am over the top with it. I am so happy that, I've come this far. And yes, it is like the eve of the next day being at 11:22 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But I made it. I made it. And I was just really, relaxing, first of all. Oh my goodness. I had some really good relaxation, meditating, journaling, and also checking out some content. Y'all, the OJs are in concert. And Eddie Levert is 81, 82 years old and on stage. Let me tell you, he reminds me so much of my father. My father is 86 years young, and Eddie is out there doing his thing with the OJs. I promise you, if they come anywhere near Charlotte, North Carolina, I am there. And if you are familiar with some of my videos, I will go to a concert in a minute. I know Slasher Chick was in at a concert tonight, and I see East Dad is in the building. Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for stopping through on while you're at work. I appreciate your support. And Slasher Chick was at a concert, and I was watching her live, and she was having a ball. That is how I do. I play all out. Listen, I don't care how nicely I might be dressed for a concert or in theme for the concert. I'm going to get my money's worth. I am going to sing the songs I know and try and sing the songs I don't know, and definitely dance, dance, dance. I think I mentioned to y'all my first Beyonce concert that I went with my daughters, and I actually wasn't going to go in. My husband had purchased us 3 tickets. I wasn't that interested in going, but I was basically their driver. It was in Atlanta. It was several years ago, before COVID. And I was like, I'm not gonna go. Like, how much better could her concerts be than her albums? I mean, you hear her one song, you heard them all. Y'all, I had so much fun at that concert. I had more fun than my daughters. I never sat down. I was shaking my hair all around. I felt like I was on stage. I was trying to do all the dances that Beyonce was doing. It was so much fun. And I feel like that's the type of fun Slasher Chick was having. And I listened, Slasher Chick, tonight you are going to sleep like a 10-month-old baby. Those are those babies that are trying to walk, trying to talk, trying to do their own thing. And they just tire themselves out by the end of the day, because that night air and you singing and dancing, oh yeah, that's going to catch up. That is going to be a good night's sleep for you for sure. And let's see, you have a great weekend as well, East Dad. And so Slasher Chick is saying that would make me say, what do you know that I don't know? Right. What did you do? Because I was just chilling. And that's how my response is, when I'm asked that question, or when someone says, like, did I do something? Is it, can you, and I'm thinking, now you have me thinking, what did you do? Because I'm just in the cut, I'm just, in my own thoughts. And, that's how it is. So, yeah, yes, and Slasher Chick was gracious enough to figure out that my 90th day is going to be on my Sweet 16. So I've been on YouTube for 16 years, and not as a content creator, but I've had this channel, Coach Sherry, never changed the name or anything. It's always been Coach Sherry for 16 years. June 30th, 2008 is my YouTube birthday. So 90 days going live is going to end on that day. And if you haven't checked it out, I do have a what's it called? I have my live structured for my Sweet 16 on that day. And I'm going to try and do something really cool. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but I hope you can join me on that day. Vern, I see you. And let me see, performing in your 80s. Okay, yeah. And you saw Cher. Oh my goodness. Wow, right. She asked, "What's your granny doing tonight?" Because she was on stage, and you know what? I was looking at Eddie Levert singing. I promise you, they remind me of my father and his best friend, Mr. Pelham, but he's doing what he loves. As long as he can do it, why not do it? People always say, "Oh, I can't wait till I retire." And I feel like when they say that, it's because they're not doing what they love. They're not working in their purpose. And Eddie still sounds great. He may not be able to stand up for the whole time. He may not be able to do any of the dance moves. He may barely be able to walk on or off the stage by himself, but his voice is still carries. If you close your eyes, it'll sound like back in the day. And that's what it's all about. If you have a talent, if you have a gift and you're still capable, why not? Why would you not share that gift still? Look at Patti LaBelle, look at Gladys Knight, and God bless his soul, look at Smokey Robinson. Y'all, look at Smokey Robinson. Look at all the hip hop legends. If you got it, you got it, and keep doing it. And that's the beauty of understanding what your purpose is in life. You're never too old. You're never too old. Yes, it was the type of fun I was having. The girl standing next to me too. Yes, when you can be surrounded when you go to concerts by other people that are truly enjoying themselves, not the ones that are the Debbie Downers just sitting there, like, why am I here? But the ones that truly understand that this is my artist, this is my place to be, this is my type of music. You will always have a good time. Yes. Patty and Gladys, yes, they're in their 80s and they do look awesome. Even Diana Ross, they all are holding it together great. Shaka Khan, Shaka has to be in her 70s. Yeah, I want to say she is because she was a young grown woman when I was born. I was born in 69 and in 70, I want to say she was part of Rufus and Shaka Khan, and she was in her either late teens or early 20s. So that would definitely make her in her 70s, and she looks phenomenal. Oh my goodness. And that just inspires me to keep it together and continue to do what I love. Yes. Yes, she puts on a great show. Shaka is actually hilarious. I don't know if y'all saw the verses between her and Stephanie Mills, which I didn't even think was a good match, but Shaka was tripping. Oh my goodness. And I don't even know if it was from like a drink or something, but she was she was hilarious. Stephanie Mills definitely had to help her with some of her lyrics. But what I wanted to come and share with you for the stress relief strategy is called, let me just get it. It's called, I don't know why I got a brain fog just now. It's called, okay, restorative yoga. And one of my line sisters, and I'm giving a shout out to her, Sydney Mack, Camille's back. Sid, she gave me this idea or suggestion to look into restorative yoga probably about a year or so ago. And, it's a type of yoga that doesn't require a lot of lifting. Not that yoga is a lot of lifting, but the movements are not as fluid, or you don't do as many movements doing restorative yoga. And it's great for, if you have chronic pain, if you aren't able to do a lot of cardio type of working out, if you can't really get your metabolism, if you can't really get your heart rate up high, restorative yoga is really, really good. And she suggested that to me because of my heart condition and the limitations that I have with it. And she was like, Sands, try this. This will really help you. And when I tell you that restorative yoga takes you to another place, it grounds you. It makes you feel so much better, refreshed, and young. And I really enjoy it. I have been able to find some videos on YouTube regarding restorative yoga, And I just wanted to come on here to share it with you as a stress relief strategy. It is something that I was doing today. I woke up in the morning and I did it. I'm going to do it before I go to bed, but it definitely helps level you off, especially after a long week or a long day. So I just want to tell you a little bit about it. So it's a gentle and relaxing style of yoga. So if you currently do yoga, then you definitely would enjoy restorative yoga. And I see that Slasher is saying that her mentee has been suggesting restorative yoga. Yes, as well for mindfulness, definitely. And if you haven't checked it out, I'm hopeful that this session and the information I'm going to share with you will get you, to try it. And so this type of yoga, it focuses on achieving physical, mental, and emotional relaxation through passive poses held for longer periods of time with the support of props. You can use blankets, bolsters, and blocks. If you have maybe even a body pillow, or I have these beautiful pillows that I use if I want to read in bed, and they are made out of like a velvet, and it's a whole set. It's about five different pillows, one to sit up with, one for your legs, for your back. It's a great pillow set. And so I'll use pieces of that to do the restorative. So these are the key points for restorative. You hold the poses for about 5 to 20 minutes or more to allow your body to fully release tension and relax. And see, that's the difference between restorative and regular yoga. Regular yoga, yes, you hold the poses, but you definitely are not holding them for 5 to 20 minutes. You hold them for a little bit, maybe for a count of 10 or 20, and then you go to the next pose. And the goal is to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which promotes a relaxation response, and it also reduces stress. This is a passive meditative practice. It emphasizes stillness, deep breathing, and letting go of physical and mental tension. And that's the thing. If you hold something and you're focused on holding that one pose, and it's not a strenuous pose, it could be a hug. You might be hugging on your pillow. You might, sit in like with your knees up to your chest and your head and everything is on the ground, but you're holding onto a pillow. You're hugging a pillow and just holding it, and you're focused on that hold until that's all you can think about. And so it releases any other mental tensions that you have, and you'll start to literally feel your body just relaxing on its own. And the benefits are that it deeply relaxes your body and mind, and it reduces stress, anxiety, and fatigue. And that's why I love doing it in the morning too, because if you wake up and you're feeling like, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can do this, the restorative yoga will give you that energy. It really will. And it also improves sleep quality. And that's why also I like doing it before I go to bed, because it really relaxes my body enough where I can receive a good quality sleep. It can also manage chronic pain conditions, boost overall well-being and your mood, and it's a gentle and safer way of doing yoga for all levels, even for pregnancy. It's really good. I wish that was something that I would have done when I was pregnant. I did kind of higher impact exercises when I was pregnant, which helped me with labor as well as getting back into shape right after delivery. Yes, I did a lot of elliptical machine. I rode bikes. I walked a lot. I really was focused on having strong legs, and that's why my deliveries were seamless. Like a couple of pushes and I was done. So, restorative yoga, it also allows you to consciously activate your body's rest and recovery mechanisms through supportive poses and focused breathing. The lack of physical exertion makes it an ideal practice for those needing to reduce stress and promote healing. So, one of the things I had suggested to one of my coaching clients was to do restorative yoga. And also to make sure her body is hydrated, drinking plenty of water. And she was like, I don't drink a lot of water. I'm finding myself at the end of the day thinking, oh, I didn't even take a sip of water. And when people don't drink water, I always feel like you're not breathing effectively either. Because if you're not mindful enough to hydrate your body, that means your breathing is probably very shallow. When your breathing is shallow, you're not oxygenating your body, and that can also cause fatigue. It can cause muscle problems. It can cause a lot of issues that you just don't even realize how, if I was just breathing properly, none of this will be going on. So definitely, if you're not drinking enough water, you're probably not allowing your body to receive enough oxygen. So being mindful of taking deep breaths, of making sure every cell of your body is getting that. And, just also standing up, not just sitting down the whole time. That's why a lot of people have the stand up desks, where your desk can rise up or get lowered so you can sit down. I know I have my Apple Watch set to remind me to stand up periodically throughout the day, because that's very important as well. And let me see. You played handball throughout your pregnancy. Okay, I know you living in New York. And were you in Brooklyn at that time? I'm sure you did a lot of walking and playing handball. What? That's what I'm talking about. I remember handball when I used to go to Queens. My family lived in Springfield Gardens. I had cousins there, and I would spend a lot of time with them all year. I would, like, 2 weeks at a time, and we would go to Springfield Gardens High School in their, like, playground area, whatever. It wasn't a playground because it was a high school, but they did have a handball court, and that thing would be filled. I used to love handball. I used to love it. Yeah. So if you lived in Brooklyn, even in Manhattan, Bronx, wherever, in New York City, you're going to do a lot of walking. Okay. So you lived around the corner from Springfield Gardens? Because I know that's like on the cusp of right there by Brooklyn too. And we used to go to Jamaica Avenue, get our sweatshirts. I remember the one sweatshirt we got was it was a saying back in the day, and we got it on the sleeve down by law, and you would get your nickname on there, your crew, all that. Right. Oh my goodness. Those were the great old days, not the good old days, the great old days. And so some people may wonder, well, how often should I do restorative yoga for maximum benefits? And that's the thing, when you want to relieve your stress, it's not one and done. You have to do it with greater frequency, and you have to make it part of your life. Like, even after you have that stress relief, you don't just say, okay, I'm good to go now, and then forget about it. Just like, Vern, you played handball when you were pregnancy, but do you play handball now? See, that's the thing. We get to a point and then we stop. And we have to ask ourselves, why do we stop? Yeah, life gets busy, but some things you have to incorporate into your day to day for sure. Yes, we did. That's right. We sure did. So, to experience the maximum benefits of restorative yoga, it's recommended to practice it 1 to 3 times per week. And, when I get into moments like I did, or weeks like I have had this week, I definitely look into doing it at least twice a day just to jumpstart my body back. And the key is frequency. The more you practice, the quicker your level of relaxation will evolve and more easily respond to restorative poses. Practicing 1 to 2 times per week can provide significant stress relief and relaxation benefits. So if you just have challenges getting comfortable at night, of maybe decompressing and stopping your mind from racing so much where you can't even fall asleep or stay falling asleep. So many women at a certain age wake up, especially around 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't know what the significance is around 3 a.m., but a lot of women of a certain age wake up around that time and are unable to go back to sleep until it's almost time to wake up. So you definitely want to do something to slow down your thought processes so that you can have a good night's sleep. Because waking up at 3 a.m. is not a good thing, especially if you do it often. So, you definitely want to do this with more frequency. And I would recommend at night if you have problems going to sleep and or staying asleep. So to fully reap the rewards like reduced chronic pain, again improved sleep, boost mood and immunity, excuse me, and deeper healing, it's suggested that practicing restorative yoga 2 to 3 times per week is great because this allows your body and mind to really sink into the passive supported poses and activate the relaxation response of the parasympathetic nervous system. Ultimately, even just one restorative session per week can be beneficial for most people, but the maximum mind body benefits aim for 2 to 3 to 90-minute sessions weekly. And then you want to complement this by other self care practices like meditation, gentle exercise, and healthy lifestyle habits, eating properly, journaling, things of that nature. Also, reading. If you're not in the habit of reading, maybe a chapter or 5 to 10 pages every day, you should get into the habit of that. It helps to increase your vocabulary, it takes your mind someplace else. You can learn something if you're looking at professional development books or personal help books, or if you're looking at great stories. It is the summer. Lots of people looking for great summer reads because they have some time. They may be going to the beach or a vacation where they're just going to lounge around and read. Like, I think I had a live a couple of days ago when I was talking about how books were abound in New York on the streets, with people selling books on the tables, and you can walk by and get the latest and the greatest. And Slasher Chick was saying they do that still in Paris, selling books on the street. And, reading is fundamental. That's a real thing. And it helps with conversations, having different topics that you can talk about and using different examples from something you may have read. There's a lot of great shows on Netflix, on Apple TV, on Prime, on, just a lot of great shows and movies and series, but those also are derived from books. And so, like Black Cake, that's a great series. If y'all haven't seen it, oh my goodness, it's so good. And my son brought me the book for Christmas, and I love it. I'm telling you, because the book gives you so much detail. The movies that they're making now are really good. You can get the full scope of it, but sometimes it's those little details that really take it there. And that's what the book gives you for sure. And so, you really want to listen to your body and adjust the frequency as needed for your individual needs and circumstances. And like I said, this week for me, and it really wasn't just this week, it was a accumulation of the past several weeks, probably the past few months. And it's sometimes things just catch up to you. You think that you are doing things in a mindful way, but sometimes you have to really break it down. And that's what restorative yoga does for me. It really breaks it down. And so the best times of day to practice, because you probably like, well, Coach Sherry, you said, you do it in the morning, you do it in the evening. Like, really, what's the best time? So the best time of day is in the morning, as it can help you gently wake up your body and mind. Restorative poses first thing in the morning can start your day with a sense of calm and relaxation. But then in the evening or before bedtime, restorative yoga can help release tension accumulated throughout the day and prepare your body for restful sleep. The calming effects make it ideal for winding down at night. And if you drink tea like chamomile tea, that's really good to drink after you do your restorative yoga, because you know how tea can run through you. So you don't want to drink tea before you do it. And then you have to stop the pose because you have to run to the restroom or something. So I recommend to drink the tea afterwards. After an intense workout, you can also do restorative yoga, and it can aid in recovery by allowing your body to fully relax and release any residual muscle tension or stress. So again, the key benefit is of restorative yoga is activating the parasympathetic nervous system, and it induces the relaxation response. So anytime you need to counteract stress, fatigue, or if you need to feel the need to consciously rest and restore balance, restorative yoga can definitely benefit you. While there is no single best time, it is recommended, the ones that I had just shared. Morning and evening practices seem to be the most commonly suggested. I mean, when else during the day, but usually the morning or the evening. All right. Ultimately, you can practice restorative yoga whenever you have time and space to hold the supported poses for an extended period without disruption. And that's the thing. You definitely want to do it when you don't have any interruptions. People may be coming into your office, or you might be receiving phone calls or things of that nature. I recommend, if you're doing it, and whenever you do it, to put your phone on do not disturb, because you don't want to interrupt that process. So let me go into the chat. Listen, it might be able to help reduce road rage for sure, especially if your road rage comes from morning rush hour traffic. I remember before COVID, there was this particular spot on one of the highways here in Charlotte where it gets this bottleneck. So you could be flowing. And to me, traffic's not a lot of cars, it's cars that are stopped. And for some reason in Charlotte, when there's an accident or if there's police officers, people do not mind their business. They always act like they are involved. And so when you're driving, you're like, what is going on? And it might be an accident that's clearly on the side of the road, not bothering anyone. But people driving by tend to slow extremely down, like all the way down. I don't know if it's to see if they know the people or what, but it is the most annoying thing. If they see the police, even if they're going the speed limit, they're going to slow down, and that just backs up traffic even more. It's just ridiculous. But they have a lot of areas that have these bottlenecks. I don't know what the engineering thought was when they were, making these highways and overpass and all of that, because they're not really adequate. And so it causes so much traffic. And when I would be on my way to the office, that part would make me so angry. I wished that I had a, what is it, a drone to go up on, up ahead, and just to do some things to those cars up ahead to get them out the way. And I actually thought that maybe, I needed to go on like short-term disability because of the way I felt, like the rage I would feel when I would get where I was going in the morning from being in those parts, of the highway. But I believe that restorative yoga could possibly help you with that. And also mindfulness, listening to maybe a audio book, or doing something that will help pass your time and not allow you to get angry at the people that are driving all around you. Because again, you can't control what they do, say, or think. You can only control yourself. And so don't give them that much power over you slash your chick. That's what I'm telling myself too. Don't give them that much of power over you to get you that mad. Yeah. I'm always irritated as a passenger. I'm a passenger more often than not. And my rage is real on the passenger side for sure. Um, Yes. We used to go to the bookstore for dates, my husband and I. And when we wouldn't have anything to do, we would take our kids just to the bookstore. Like, well, let's go to the bookstore. It could be at night, during the day, in the morning, whenever. That's definitely one of our favorite places. And I remember when he first retired, and there was this mom and pop type of bookstore. It wasn't a big name, wasn't Barnes and Noble or Books a Million or anything like that. It was just a like kind of a family owned type of bookstore, and he tends to like those types of stores, smaller businesses. And when I tell you, I know he paid their rent for at least a year. And I had to say, listen, we don't need not one more book. Let's go to the library. And, so we can give some of these books back, because buying all these books is a bit much. And because he would just go there during the day and spend hours, at the bookstore, ordering books, talking about books. When, Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is our thing, oh my goodness, by Robert Kiyosaki, that book really changed the way we both look at money. um I remember he would buy copies and copies of it, and when he would go to a drive-through, he would give it to the young people working in the drive-through, letting them know, "Listen, you can do well even working here. You can, be wealthy if you do the right thing with your money." And he would give them a copy of the book. That was just his thing. When he coached football, he would have every week the football team would go. That he would have them go to the library, and he would find historical videos like on Marcus Garvey because he's always, about financial literacy and business growth and such, and would show videos and have discussions about, the future and financial wellness and just all kinds of things. It was pretty dope. So yes, go gadget car is what I say when I'm feeling that way. Okay. And there's other things you could do too, like maybe focus on a number or a color, like how many times can I see the color orange and look for orange, or, just different things to kind of get you out of the idea of where you really are. Yeah, passenger princess. Maybe that's what I should get on our passenger seat. Cause I promise you, Vern, I definitely am a passenger way more than I drive, especially since my accident, because that low key, that was not a good thing. So, but yeah, I'm a passenger princess. I like that a lot. Yes, they've always been part of my life like that when I would travel to visit local bookstores. Yes. And I remember even as a young girl, my brothers are 8 and 9 years older than me. And my mother spent a lot of time with me doing really interesting things, and I really appreciate her for that. And I just remember her taking me to the bookstore, I mean, to the library. We would always go to the library, that's where it was. And I remember my first library card, and you would have thought that was like, the key to the Golden Gates or something. But I remember her always taking me to the library to pick out some books. And that's what she would say, pick out some books. And she would always recommend biographies, Mary McLeod Bethune, Martin Luther King Jr., Mahalia Jackson, just always I had to have a biography of some sort, and then I can get any other fiction book that I wanted to read. And then next to the library, there was this jewelry store, and she would, take me there. And I loved looking at jewelry. And sometimes she would like say I can pick out a piece, and she would put it on layaway, and I would get it for my birthday or Christmas or something. But those are really great memories for sure. Yes, The Secret. Oh my goodness. And my husband also gave out The Secret too. Whenever someone he knew or we knew, got sick or something like that, he would give them The Secret. I remember when one of his former teammates' wife had gotten breast cancer, and he was like, I want to really give her this, this. I think he had the VHS or something of it, the video, the disc, the DVD. And he was telling her, really look at this. And this was back in the day, so this is before they really started calling it manifestation, but like changing your mindset to heal your body type of thing. And I thought that was really cool. He still is a good man, just has other things happening. So yes. Yeah, taking the team to the library and having them learn things out off the field was important. Yeah, thank you, Slasher Chick. Thank you. Nothing but great memories. Oh my goodness. And that's something else that I tell people when they have lost a loved one. Memories is something no one can ever take away from you. The body may not be here any longer, but those memories will last forever. And I am just so grateful to have had all of those memories with my mother, memories with all the loved ones in my life, here and gone, past and present. And that's what you have to hold on to. That's why I always tell my father, because he's always like, "Oh, I wish you come more often or whatever." But I always say it's quality over quantity. You can be with someone for weeks and weeks, and if you're not doing anything, you're just in their presence, that's not the memories that are going to sustain you when everything is long said and done. it's the things that you do, the conversations that you have. So that's why you want to make each moment count. And it doesn't require it to be long spurts of time. It could be that one day, a few hours, whatever it is, make the most of it. Don't complain about it. Don't wish it was longer. Just embrace what you have. And that's what it's all about. So, everyone, it has been my pleasure sharing this information with you. I am going to head out and I will be back with you tomorrow for day number 69 of going live every day for 90 days. I hope you got a nugget of two and understand that strategy that I shared regarding restorative yoga. Let me know if you implement it and or if you've tried it before. If you're watching this on replay, I appreciate you. All right, everyone. Thanks again for tuning in. I am Coach Sherry.